Hello, my friends. Welcome back to American Lingo Academy. I'm Fiona, and today we're going to learn another 10 common English phrasal verbs that native speakers use all the time. These phrasal verbs are very useful, and I promise you, by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what they mean and how to use them naturally in your own conversations. All right, let's jump right in. Number 1. Belt out. Belt out means to sing very loudly and with a lot of power. Think about a singer on stage who's really going for it, singing at the top of their lungs. That's belting out a song. We use this phrasal verb when someone is singing with lots of energy and volume. You'll often hear it when people are talking about performances or even just singing along to their favorite songs. For example, imagine you're at a karaoke bar with your friends, and your friend Sarah gets up on stage. She starts singing, "I Will Always Love You" by Whitney Houston, and she's singing it really, really loudly with so much emotion. You might say, "Wow, Sarah is really belting out that song tonight." Here's another one. Let's say you're driving in the car with your teenage daughter, and her favorite song comes on the radio. She starts singing along at the top of her voice, almost shouting the lyrics. You could laugh and say, "She loves to belt out that song every time it comes on." Number 2. Belt up. Now this is completely different from belt out. Belt up means to be quiet, to stop talking. It's actually a pretty direct way to tell someone to stop speaking, and it's more common in British English than American English. In America, we might say "shut up" instead, though both can sound a bit rude depending on how you say them. We use belt up when we want someone to stop talking, usually because they're being annoying or saying too much. For example, imagine you're in a movie theater trying to watch a film, but the people behind you keep talking loudly during the movie. Finally, someone turns around and says, "Could you please belt up? We're trying to watch the movie here." You might hear something like this at home too. Maybe your little brother won't stop asking questions while you're trying to study for an important exam. You might say, "Come on, just belt up for 5 minutes so I can concentrate." Number 3. Bend down. Bend down is pretty straightforward. It means to lower your body by bending at the waist or knees, usually to pick something up or to get closer to something that's low to the ground. We use this all the time in daily life when we need to reach for something that's below us or when we want to get down to someone's level, like talking to a small child. For example, you're walking down the street and you notice you dropped your keys on the sidewalk. You need to bend down to pick them up. You might say to your friend, "Hold on a second, I need to bend down and grab my keys." People often say something like this when they're with small children. Let's say you're a teacher and you want to talk to one of your young students face to face. You might bend down so you're at the same height as the child and say, "I'm going to bend down so we can talk eye to eye." Number 4. Bend over. Bend over is similar to bend down, but it usually means to bend forward from your waist, often more dramatically. You might bend over to look at something, to pick up something heavy, or sometimes because you're in pain. This phrasal verb is used when someone needs to lean forward significantly, usually to reach something or because of how they're feeling physically. For example, imagine you're helping your friend move to a new apartment, and there's a really heavy box on the floor that you need to lift. You might say, "I need to bend over carefully and use my legs to lift this box, not my back." Here's another one. Let's say you ate something that didn't agree with you, and now your stomach really hurts. You might bend over because of the pain and say, "Ugh, I feel terrible. I need to bend over, my stomach is killing me." Number 5. Bend over backwards. Now this one is completely different. Bend over backwards doesn't mean to literally bend your body. It's an idiom that means to try extremely hard to help someone or to do something difficult. When you bend over backwards for someone, you're going out of your way to make them happy, or to solve their problem. We use this when we want to show that someone is making a huge effort, often more effort than they really need to make. For example, let's say your coworker is getting married next month, and your boss is being incredibly flexible about her work schedule. Your boss is letting her leave early, take extra days off, and even work from home when she needs to plan wedding things. You might say, "Our boss is really bending over backwards to help Lisa with her wedding preparations." You might hear something like this in customer service situations too. Imagine you had a problem with an online order, and the customer service representative spent 2 hours on the phone with you, called 3 different departments, and even gave you a discount to make up for the inconvenience. You could say, "That customer service rep really bent over backwards to solve my problem." Before we continue with the rest of our phrasal verbs, I want to ask you to do me a small favor. If you're finding this lesson helpful, please take a quick second to hit that like button below this video. It really helps other English learners find these lessons, and it lets me know that you want to see more content like this. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please click that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. We post new English lessons every single day, and I don't want you to miss any of them. Okay, let's get back to our phrasal verbs. Number 6, big up. Big up is a phrasal verb that means to praise someone, to give them credit, or to show respect for what they've done. It's like saying good job or well done, but it's a bit more enthusiastic. This phrasal verb comes from hip-hop culture and has become more mainstream over the years. We use big up when we want to publicly recognize someone's achievements, or when we want to show appreciation for someone's work or talents. For example, imagine your friend just got promoted at work after years of hard effort. At a party, you might raise your glass and say, "I want to big up my friend Mike for getting that promotion. He's been working so hard for this, and he totally deserves it." People often say this on social media too. Let's say your sister just graduated from college, and you want to post something nice about her on Instagram. You might write, "I want to big up my amazing sister for graduating with honors. I'm so proud of everything she's accomplished." Number 7, bitch up. Now, I need to be careful with this one because it contains a word that some people might find offensive. Bitch up means to mess something up badly or to ruin something. It's definitely considered informal and somewhat crude language, so you probably shouldn't use it in professional or formal situations. We use this when something has gone very wrong, or when someone has made a big mistake that caused problems. For example, let's say your friend was supposed to make dinner reservations for your group, but he completely forgot and now all the restaurants are booked. You might say, "Oh man, Tom really bitched up our dinner plans. Now we have to find somewhere else to eat." Here's another one. Imagine you're trying to fix your computer, but you accidentally delete some important files while you're messing around with the settings. You might say to yourself, "Great, I just bitched up my whole computer. Now I have to call tech support." Number 8, blackout. Blackout has a couple of different meanings, but the most common one is to lose consciousness suddenly, usually because of illness, drinking too much alcohol, or extreme stress. Another meaning is when the electricity goes out in a large area. We use this phrasal verb when someone faints or passes out, or when we're talking about power outages. For example, let's say your friend went to a party last weekend and drank way too much. The next day, she can't remember anything from after midnight. She might say, "I completely blacked out last night. I don't remember anything after we left the first bar." You might hear something like this during summer heat waves. Imagine there's been extremely hot weather in your city, and everyone is using their air conditioning at the same time. The electrical system can't handle it, and suddenly the power goes out in half the city. The news might report, Downtown blacked out around 3 p.m. due to excessive power usage during the heat wave. Number 9. Blank out. Blank out means to suddenly forget something or to have your mind go completely empty, usually when you're nervous or under pressure. It's different from blacking out because you don't lose consciousness, you just can't remember or think of what you need to remember. This happens to a lot of people during tests, job interviews, or when they're giving presentations. Your mind just goes completely blank. For example, imagine you're taking your driving test and you've been practicing parallel parking for weeks. But when the examiner asks you to parallel park, you suddenly can't remember any of the steps. You might say later, "I knew how to parallel park perfectly, but I completely blanked out during the test." People often say this happens during important presentations too. Let's say your coworker had to give a big presentation to the company executives, and even though she knew her material perfectly, she got so nervous that she forgot everything. She might say, "I was so nervous that I blanked out completely. I couldn't remember any of my talking points." Number 10. Blare out. Our last phrasal verb today is blare out. This means to make a very loud, harsh sound, usually talking about music, alarms, or announcements. When something blares out, it's not just loud, it's annoyingly loud and hard to ignore. We use this when sounds are uncomfortably loud, or when something is making noise at full volume. For example, imagine you live in an apartment, and your neighbor upstairs always plays music really loudly late at night. The bass is so strong that it shakes your walls. You might complain to your friend, "My upstairs neighbor's music blares out every single night until 2 a.m. I can't get any sleep." Here's another one. Let's say you're sleeping peacefully on a Sunday morning, and suddenly your fire alarm starts going off because you burned your toast. The sound is so loud and jarring that it wakes up the whole house. You might say, "The smoke alarm started blaring out at 7 a.m. and scared everyone to death. It was just burnt toast, but the sound was so loud." And there you have it, my friends. Those are 10 more common English phrasal verbs that you'll hear native speakers use all the time. Remember, the key to learning phrasal verbs is practice and repetition. Try to use a few of these in your own conversations this week, and don't worry if it feels awkward at first. That's completely normal. I hope you found today's lesson helpful and that these phrasal verbs will make your English sound more natural and fluent. Don't forget to like this video if it helped you, share it with other English learners who might benefit from it, and leave me a comment below telling me which phrasal verb was new for you. And of course, make sure you're subscribed to American Lingo Academy because we post new videos every single day to help you improve your English. Thanks for learning with me today, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Keep practicing and keep learning.